after the cross, we have a new world. He says he has made everything new. It's a new heaven, it's a new earth. Heaven and earth is realms, which forms a new world, because it's a world that is touched by God himself, because the true light has now come in. 1 John 2 says darkness is over, but we need to understand the concepts. Too long people have just waited to get saved, and when we get saved, voila, we're going to go to heaven, and we're waiting to die to live. While Christ has already brought the life for us, but we need to understand what happens to us right here on this earth. This fallen situation is not our destination. Light came in, that death and darkness has no more place in us, because it says when you step from darkness to light, you've already stepped from death to life. It's not that we're waiting for life. We have it already. And it's time that we step into the purposes of God. To understand the purposes of God, we understand the terms that he uses. Now, the first one is in Hebrews 4. He limited a day. Today, if you will hear his voice, harden not your heart. Now let's go to today. First, we have to have a little recap on day. Day is a period of time, and there were 7 periods of time in the perfect creation day. When Adam missed, the day of time broke out. Time has a beginning and an end. God is the beginning and the end. And it's full of cycles and seasons till Christ. Then there's one cycle and one season called the due season, one generation called the chosen generation of kings and priests, ruling and reigning. As in the world, we find that there's all these princes that are little spoiled brats who do not know how to govern and how to guide a kingdom, and how they've messed up everything. And somehow the church follows that pattern, and it's time that we understand what we are. Now, the perfect day gave into the day of death. So when Jesus came, right in the middle of this day of death, he intersected it. He brought a new day within this darkness. Light shone in darkness, because darkness can never overshadow or never push out light. So this is a principle that you must learn. Stop fighting situations. Let your light shine. Baby, switch on the lights. God has limited a day called today if you will hear his voice. Now, when Jesus came, it was the morning period, because he said he will come to us as the morning. There will be joy in the morning. His mercies are new every morning. So Jesus came and brought us mercy. He was like a morning that came. But Isaiah says, arise, shine, for your light has come, but gross darkness is coming. So Satan tried to reach this realm of darkness from before the cross right into the realm of light, but the darkness is no match for God, and the darkness just faded out, and it was the end of that world. It was the last days, the removal. We dealt with all of that. So when Jesus came, there was a voice that opened the heavens and said, today I have begotten you. And God actually announced the today. In the perfect day, the 7th day, God rested. So what happened is Adam disturbed God's rest. Now heaven became a throne room, earth a footstool, and heaven and earth is working back unto rest. The gospel was preached to Abraham because he longed to see God's day. The gospel was preached to Moses. He believed it. He was the builder of the house. Hebrews says he was faithful in the house, but God says, where's my rest? Where is the house that you will build for me? And he said he swore by his wrath that Israel will not enter his rest. But then in Hebrews 4, he says there remains a rest for the people of God. He wants us back in his original plan. The minute Adam left and he was hiding in the garden, there was a voice, Adam, where are you? And he says now in Hebrews 4, he says, he limits now a certain day. How can he limit a certain day? What is a day? A day is a period of time. It's not an exact period of time, like one day is 1,000 years, 1,000 years is one day. It means it's a perfect time. Day is a period of time, but now he says he limiteth a day. So there is a certain time. So I want to just bring it to you that a limited day is the moment in time when you can hear his voice. That minute when you say, I believe, you receive, and you are born again out of the natural into the spirit, into the supernatural. The first man, Adam, became a living soul. All the people before the cross was soulish men. So Christ came into that situation, what the law could not do, God sending his own son in the guise of sinful flesh. He condemned sin in the flesh. The second man became a quickening spirit. Howbeit, the first is natural, and then follows the spiritual. So you must be born again. But the minute you are born again, you step into this new day of the Spirit. So we are all, the whole world is in the new day after the cross, but they're not in the Spirit. So the Spirit is above the natural. The spiritual things are foolishness to the natural. But he says the foolish things of God is wiser than the wisdom of the world. You need to understand the Spirit in the Word. We need to make this Word come alive and be the Word of God and not a book full of stories.